What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, I want to talk about the Edgar Berlanga Jason Quigley fight. Now, when I've seen Berlanga fight, I've always felt like he wasn't ready for the elite guys. I still feel the same way. Now, what I see in his style, he jabs here and there. Um, he throws body shots here and there. I feel like he relies too much on power. Don't see anything special about his footwork. He does move his head from side to side at times. Coming in, he's a safety first type fighter. He does have patience, which is cool. He does have power, and he he overall, he wants to fight these guys, but I don't really think he's ready for the elite guys. Jason Quigley, basically, I feel like he was cautious of coming in, and they both were fighting kind of similar, one punch at a time. And Quigley never got established, and it got to the point where he was trying to be safe and not run into anything. There was two knockdowns scored. Now the fifth round, I think it was like a body shot, and he lost his balance. Now I don't know if it was a thing with his foot, his foot maybe got caught behind his and he tripped or whatever. I don't know. But bottom line, it was scored a knockdown. So there were two knockdowns in the fight, which means Berlanga had two 10-8 rounds. I didn't see any urgency in Quigley's corner. And my thing is, seeing that people was feeling like it was a close fight, you have to consider the two 10-8 rounds. Quigley wasn't able to do anything to really change the course of the fight. And basically, Edgar Berlanga, they both just did the same thing. There was no real urgency. And Berlanga, let's say he, felt like he was winning the fight. Okay, cool. In terms of trying to close the show, in terms of trying to switch up and show different levels to your game, I didn't see any of that. And basically, the way he likes to lunge in, he needs to learn how to work off of his jab, those combinations off of his jab, use some lateral movement. There's a lot of work he needs. He needs to learn because you can telegraph his shots. And the only thing he throws is a 1-2. But he likes to throw these chopping shots, little short chopping shots. I know Jason Quigley, the way he was fighting and moving and dipping his head down, he was trying to catch him, but elite level fighters will be able to take advantage and exploit those weaknesses in Berlanga's game. That's the point, what I'm saying. And the fact is, he's one-dimensional. So, me looking at that, people that are saying he needs at least 2 or 3 more fights, I don't know that you can say 2 or 3 more fights and he's ready. I think, from what I see, it's not just about 2 or 3 more fights. He needs to make changes, period. Because he can have 2 or 3 more fights of the same level of opposition and get the win. And so those things that I'm pointing out, he might not even see it that way. Maybe I don't know. His corner couldn't have been too happy with a lot of the things he was doing. Because he's seeing the fades, and especially when he was getting tired and he started winging that left hook out of desperation. He's just there to be hit. So a guy like Jason Quigley won't bring these things out of him. You understand what I mean? So to be able to tap into a second, third, fourth gear, sometimes, most of the times, it takes your opponent because of what they're doing for you to tap into these things. Quigley was doing one thing. This is my point. He wasn't doing much of anything. They were just doing the same thing. And you didn't see anything from either guy that showed we have different levels to our game. So I don't see him as being ready, for the elite guys. I just don't. I mean, now my thing is, without change, why throw him in there the way he is right now? He's simply too flawed to get in there and fight against the very top guys and win. He's just, I mean, can he land a punch? He does have power. Yeah, of course. Okay, things can happen, but do you really expect him to go in there and win from what you saw last night? I know I don't. But basically, at the post conference, he called out Jaime Mugia. Eddie Hearn mentioned Mugia's name, Triple G, and John Ryder. Now, Eddie Hearn knows what he's doing. Listen, if you say John Ryder, who did he just fight? Canelo. He said Triple G. Triple G fought Canelo, 3 times. Mugia just came up to 168. Let me say this. Now, I don't think he beats Mugia. I think Mugia beats him. Now, against John Ryder, see, John Ryder is not a world-class fighter. He's not not elite level guy, okay? But he just fought Canelo. So to say John Ryder's name, anytime you fight a guy that just fought an elite guy, yes, people are going to compare your performance. But basically, it gives people a different way to gauge Edgar Berlanga. Now, looking at what he just did last night, look at it this way. Demetrius Andre beat Quigley, right? Broke his jaw and everything. Do you think that Edgar Berlanga shows you that he's better or good enough to fight and beat Demetrius Andre? And notice that name didn't come up, right? Now, certain names it's like who they associated with when you bring these names up. So beating the John Ryder, John Ryder has heart. He's a tough guy, but I mean, does that get him a step closer to where he needs to go? I don't know. I don't see anybody really caring too much about that fight. Now, Triple G. Triple G is not the same fighter. His skills have started to deteriorate already. We've seen it. The most that Triple G has going for him is he's tough and he has heart. But his skill level, he's not the same guy. I think it's a safer fight for Berlanga because of those things. And I think it's a safer fight for Triple G over a Munguia or Andre, which is fights. I don't know what's been holding up these fights anyway, so I don't want to get into that as to why these fights haven't even happened. But, him bringing those names up, look, I think for Berlanga, and here's the thing. Let's say he fought Triple G and beat him because of his deteriorating skills and just not being the same guy. It moves you up in the rankings, right? It'll get you a little more attention. Some of us understand exactly what I just said about Triple G. And then you're going to have those that are going to start saying he should fight such and such next, or this guy, that guy. But the reality is he needs to improve in these areas that I pointed out. Okay? Not just relying on his power, learning how to give angles, feints, movement, working off of his jab, throwing punches off of, different angles. And not being so predictable with his punch selection. He's one-dimensional, like I said. If he was to beat a washed-up Triple G, let's just say it like it is, does that improve him as a fighter? See, because this is my point. People will watch the fights that they had, but the things that they're flawed in, they don't see it as flaws. They look at what they did to make adjustments from one fighter to the next, but they're not really looking at what I'm doing wrong or what I should be doing better. This is what I'm saying. And with Edgar Berlanga, him saying he has his team together now, he feels better, and that he's back on track, and the next fight is a continuation of the last fight. No. Each fight is different. And it's not like you're fighting him in a rematch. You're fighting whoever. You don't know. It's a different fight. So to say this is how we're going to fight from now on, and this is, I'm picking up where I left off. Like, see that to me is basically it's you're waiting for a disaster to happen in that way. You know, um, you can't think just because you do something a certain way in one fight that this is just how it's going to be. That's going to work for everybody. I remember Prince Charles Williams was saying that he liked to spar with heavyweights. He was a light heavyweight because then when you get hit by another light heavyweight, man, it ain't nothing. And I remember thinking, yeah, but you don't have to get knocked out. You can get outboxed. Then what? And what do you think if a guy it doesn't knock you out, you're just going to run through him? Like, See, and then this is my point. It's like I've said to you guys before, how these old school trainers only have one way of showing you, and that's it. You're not going to get anything more than what they show you. That's simple. And in fact, they don't even want you to do the things that you know. They have to see it work before they understand it. Oh shit, he's right. Okay, oh that does work. Oh, because it's something that's foreign to them. It's not something that they were a part of, right? So yeah, making statements like that is just like, okay, this is how you're gonna fight from now on. Like if you think that style that you have is good enough to beat everybody, more power to you. But I still don't think he's ready. And like I said, I don't think it's a 2 or 3 more fights than he's ready. I think it's to what I see. It's more he needs to improve and change some things and add. Like he needs to learn how to put his arsenal together better. But that's up to him and his team. And another thing, yeah, I saw the Adam Kalinowski, Joe, what's his name, Cusimano. I watched it. I did watch that fight. I was asked about what do I think about Adam Kalinowski. I think he's got beaten up too much, man. If you look at every Adam Kalinowski fight, it's a tough fight. Every fight he has is a tough fight. He gets beat up in every fight. Even when he gets the decision, he gets beat up. But he's just been getting beat up. He's getting hit with everything. He's become a punching bag. Now, I don't like to be the guy. I mean, hey, listen, if a guy fights, he fights. If he retires, he retires. But maybe Adam Kalinowski needs to think about doing something different, man. I mean, he got stopped, and he was taking some hard blows. And when you're getting hit with everything, every punch that you can possibly throw, and you're getting hit with all of it, and repeatedly, it's like, life after boxing. That's and when you can't, that's what you got to look at. And when you cannot compete with the elite guys, you know that the money is not there like you would like it to be. And the sad thing is, to a lot of fighters, that's all they have is boxing. But what is Adam Kalinowski going to do to get better at this age? He is who he is. And I mean, yeah, he's a shot fighter, man. He fought with everything he had. So yeah, you can say, oh, it was a good fight. It was more competitive based on his inability to get away from shots. Okay. And the thing about that is, when you can't avoid being hit and you like to fight in the pocket like he does, how much longer are you going to last? It's honestly like that drunk that can walk into a bar sober and he has one drink and he already starts getting drunk just from one drink. That's what he is right now, is that he gets touched way too much. So, the punishment in his fight start from round 1 to however long it goes. So what is he actually going to do? So even if you say, I love boxing, fighting is my life, but you're not able to get fights with the elite guys, you're just taking punishment, going through these grueling training camps. Also remember, it's not just what happens in the fight, all the sparring, like everything that you're putting your body through. And at this point in his career, man, it's like, what's left for him to do other than just be a punching bag? Let's just be real, man. Come on, man. This guy, Cusumano, just saying. How often has his name came up as a title contender? Just saying. We saw the Zilly Zhang fight where basically I felt like Zhang won the fight, but he didn't get the decision. But regardless, just my point is look at the beating he took. Look at the beating, and that's the thing. When every fight is a tough fight, well, goddamn, it's like everybody on the same exact level. That's what you think, right? These are not elite fighters he's having these tough fights with. He himself is not an elite fighter. He's a tough guy that has shown heart. And I mean, everybody, it's his life and his career, man. That's what it comes down to. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with him, but I just feel like Adam Kalinowski is a fighter that needs to think about trying to do something else. I don't know what his money's looking like. Maybe he can open a gym if he hasn't run a gym. Do something. Who knows, man? Create a podcast. Do something, because boxing is brutal, and I mean, what else is he going to do to improve? Can he improve? I think we all know the answers to that. We've seen it. He is who he is. So, but yeah, um, yeah, Edgar Berlanga, salute to him and Jason Quigley. They came and did what they, brought what they had last night. But yeah, Berlanga, he needs more work. He needs to make changes, significant changes. His style that he has are going to make it more difficult for him to win fights against elite guys simply because the things that he lack that they're able. Now, mind you, I'm talking about a Demetrius Andre, a Canelo Alvarez, a David Morrell, a David Benavidez, a Caleb Plant. And let's look at it like this. Look at Caleb. Caleb is a much better fighter, more rounded than Edgar Berlanga. His Achilles heel is his conditioning. Once he gets tired, it's like he's done. The type of fighter that Berlanga is, and the fact that he doesn't throw combinations and one punch at a time, I don't see him beating Caleb Plant. I really don't, because even if Caleb was to get tired, well, what is he doing other than just walking forward and throwing one punch at a time? Not really working off of his jab, just throwing punches here and there. And, he likes to get in the pocket. And I've seen him, he gets in the pocket and it's like he doesn't know what he wants to do. So I don't even think he beats Caleb Plant, to be honest with you. And really, out of the elites at 168, Caleb will be the weakest link. Let's be real. I don't see him beating Morrell. I don't see him beating any of these guys I just named. And if he was to beat Plant, I feel like it would be because of Plant's lack of conditioning, where after the 6th round, he's done. Pretty much, he just gets tired. But the fact is, Berlanga doesn't really, he doesn't bring that pressure, man. Just walking the guy down, and then he'll get close, then stand in. Okay, what do you want to do? And what do you want to do? No, what do you want to do? That's what he does. And he'll lunge in with the jab or lunge in with the hook, or, he lunges in with his shots. He doesn't really work off of his jab. He doesn't pop the jab continuously. I don't know. It's like the jab is just a forgotten weapon by a lot of fighters. This era, I don't know what it is with the jab, but a lot of them just don't understand how important and effective that jab is. And so basically, that's why a basic fighter like, Dimitri Bivol can beat Canelo. It's not, oh, he's just too big. No, bullshit. He has a game plan. He stuck to it, and he works off that jab. He's a disciplined basic fighter. And a basic fighter doesn't mean you can't fight. It just means basics. You have drivers and you have race car drivers, right? You have professional drivers, guys with CDLs and all right. You know more than the basic driver. Doesn't mean the basic driver isn't a good driver. You can be a damn good driver. But there's certain road signs. You don't look out for bridge clearances and all of that stuff, right? Cars don't have to stop at at railroad crossings and things like that. Of course, if you see the arm in the red light, yeah. But certain vehicles do. There's things that just because you can drive a car doesn't mean that you can drive a manual or automatic. Don't mean you can drive a stick. So this is what I'm saying. It's not like when you say that he was a basic fighter, like, oh, he's trash. No, of course not. So that's not a slight at them when you say they're basic fighters. Yeah, they're basic, no special effects, nothing, but they are disciplined with what they do. You know, yeah, just it's one of those things. So looking at Edgar, I just feel like, you know, for his best interests, whoever he fights next, hopefully that they go and study the video and look at the things that he's doing wrong. But this is my point. He seemed to be pleased with his performance overall. He got the win, but just saying, like, we heard Regis Prograis the other week just say that he got the win, but he really wasn't happy about his performance. Okay. That's more of a positive for the simple fact that he's acknowledging I didn't look as good as I needed to. I know I could do better than that. Now, is it a fact that he just basically had a problem overall with this guy's style, or is it just he just had one of those nights? We don't know. I don't know. But bottom line, he knows that wasn't the best performance. Because really, if you look at it, what that performance showed you is that he's not that good of a boxer. It's okay. But the fact that he's saying he wasn't happy with his performance, we'll see. Which is why before, like I said, man, it's like when I asked in the video, is it just that the 135 pounders are just better fighters than the 140 pounders? Because that's what it's looking like. And so it takes certain opponents to test you and push you where you're being tested in ways that your previous opponents haven't been able to test you. That's the difference. So even with elite fighters, you got the A and the B class. Okay, C class and D, they're not elite. Okay, but you got your B minus, your B plus, your A minus, your A plus. And when certain guys don't test you the ways that you're going to have to be able to adjust and adapt to fighting other guys, either you have it in you or not. And this is where your ring IQ either taps, you can tap into it or you can't. But that's why when you go back to the corner, which is why when people were talking about, oh, Devin Haney was saying, even Devin Haney was saying, it's like Lomachenko knows what he's going to do before he do it. It's like, okay, that's what you have a corner for. And so what does that mean? And that's what you have a corner for. Now imagine him saying that, and his father goes, well, I don't know what you're going to do, son, but you better figure something out. And what the fuck does he need Bill in the corner for? That's what you have a corner for. And again, here's a guy just turned 24 years old. Like I told you, nobody's going to give Devin the, oh, but he's only 24, 23 excuse I told you guys, right? No. Even he said it like as if he know he lost because no, that's not what he was saying. He didn't say I'm losing the fight. No, he said it's like he knows what I'm going to do before I even do it. Yeah, that's Lomachenko's his experience. Even though he doesn't have as many pro fights, he has way more amateur fights. He has a lot of boxing experience and knowledge. That's where the IQ, where the experience comes in. Okay, and so Devin was basically, and here's the thing, okay? You're discrediting Devin, but you're overlooking. He acknowledged that. Yeah, he's like, he know what I'm going to do before I do it. Yeah, why is he telling his dad? Okay, talk to me, Pop. What are we going to do? Simple. It's boxing, man. Huh? Is that any different from Angelo Dundee yelling out to Sugar Ray Leonard, you're blowing it, kid? That's what you have a corner for. It's not just to give you order and put, inswalls on your bruise, on your bumps and all that. No, it's not just for that. So just saying, man, But yeah, I think that Edgar Berlanga, he needs some work. And if he acknowledges that, if his corner acknowledges that, and if they get to the point where they correct those things and we see a much improved fighter, yeah, because he has power. But for what I've seen right now with him, I don't see him beating any of the elite guys. And to be honest with you, if he can get, first off, we don't know that Triple G. This is names that Eddie Hearn is calling out. Now, John Ryder would probably be down for that fight. I don't know that Triple G will. But then again, time is ticking for Triple G. And who does Triple G have on the table for him that he wants to fight right now? What is he waiting for? He's only going. Everybody's getting older. Nobody's getting younger. So what is he waiting for? So he might be able to get John Ryder. I doubt that. I don't know. Maybe Munguia might want to fight. Who knows? I don't know. I don't really think Triple G wants that fight. And again, once you become a champion at one point and you're amongst the elite, see, the only thing is Triple G has more respect on his name. That's all. But in terms of his ability, it's not the same fighter. But does he want to fight Edgar Berlanga? Like, what does he gain? You see what I mean? So that's a fight that may not happen. Okay? More than likely. Out of the names they came up with, as I said, John Ryder might be the name, might be the guy that, hey, okay, fuck it, it's another payday, and I have nothing going on right now. Simple. And this is a fight that I might be able to win. So, John Ryder might be that guy. I hear him saying this is Puerto Rico versus Mexico. I want Berlanga. I want Munguia. I mean, does Munguia really want this fight? Not like he's afraid of the guy, but like, does he really want this fight? This is what I mean. I don't know, y'all. But I just think that, like I said, I don't think it's 2 or 3 more fights and he's ready. No, it's not about a time frame. He just needs work. He really needs to change a lot of things. So, anyway, talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.